Hey everybody, Justin here. We're going to record a new PlayStation Underground today. I'm joined by Derek Cornish from Giant Squid. You are the graphics programmer on a game called Abzu.
Yes,
I'm really looking forward to Abzu, and it's out really soon, right?
August 2nd, it'll be available in the PlayStation Store, and it's available for pre-release now.
Yeah,
you can go right now to the store and pre-order it today.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and dive on in.
Oh, I like that.
Play some Abzu.
We are huge fans of those water puns.
Yeah. We made that earlier, and I was saying no puns. We gotta stay away from the puns. But it's actually really hard. I actually just randomly said, let's dive in, yada yada yada, not even realizing that I had made the pun.
Yeah. No, I think our lifeblood is about 20% puns at Giant Squid. It is a rich world of pun-ready material.
A rich tapestry.
Yes, in the ocean. It's
so
deep.
So Abzu is obviously a beautiful game. I'm looking at it now, hearing it. The music of Austin Wintory, the art from Matt Nava, who's the art director on Journey, now game director on Abzu.
Abzu, yeah.
You guys are a really small team. How big is the team over at Giant Squid?
We're about 10 people, all has included, every part of the company. And we're, a little split, art and programming. I'm obviously one of the programmers, but yeah, we're pretty small, and we really have primarily staffed up in the last year or so. So this has been a very small team project from the beginning.
When did you join the team?
I joined just over 2 years ago,
okay.
As one of the early employees starting on our graphics tech. And we use Unreal Engine 4 for our engine, but because of the world we wanted to build and the visuals we wanted to create, we ended up implementing a lot of very custom rendering features, which is why I've been busy for the last 2 years.
Okay, so we start in this beautiful open ocean here. I mean, I'd be remiss not to mention how great the water looks. I know that's cliche in video games, but this water looks great.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we spent a lot of time tuning the look. There's a careful balance we tried to find throughout this game in terms of the stylized look that Matt is known for his artistic style, and also the kind of reality elements that you find, because throughout this game we tried to populate it with real fish and real flora and fauna throughout, and we didn't invent any creatures or anything. Everything is based in reality.
Great. So you're going to take us in. You're going to hold R2 to dive here.
Yep. And we start right in, and there's Austin's score coming in. One of the things we really wanted to focus on in this game is fluidity of movement. So you can see we can do these kind of acrobatic maneuvers through the ocean. From the very beginning, kind of part of the inspiration for this game was scuba diving. Matt Nava and Brian Balamet, both our lead engineer, Brian, are both certified scuba divers, and almost everyone on the team has their own stories of connections with the ocean and creatures in it, and being able to capture some of that majesty of the ocean and some of the feeling of scuba diving without any of the trappings of air gauges and worrying about health or drowning or anything else has been really core to this game.
I love the contrast that you get with, you unlocked a trophy.
I got a trophy.
I love the contrast that you get of the kind of low detail, low poly character model, but the fluidity of the animation, how beautiful that looks.
Yeah, being able to simulate these giant schools of fish and have them react to the diver and react to the world was really core to some of the tech that we built for this game, and a big part of the art direction for the energy we wanted to create with it.
At E3, we did a PlayStation Livecast segment with Brian from Giant Squid.
Yeah.
And I was commenting that I get some serious Echo the Dolphin vibes from this opening area here.
Yeah. We were super inspired by just about every water game you can find, and to be honest, there aren't a ton. There's a lot of really good ones out there, but it's not like your standard other genres like shooters or other kind of adventure games where there's a wide catalog to pull from. But I mean, everything from Endless Ocean to Echo the Dolphin and all those things served as a lot of inspiration for the kind of worlds that people have tried to create underwater. We went our own, we have our own vibe, our own direction, but I think we're happy with what we're adding to that catalog. So yeah, you can see here I'm waking up this little drone buddy of mine. And this is another thing, so I was touching on some of the core tenets of the game. Fluidity of motion and everything is very important for the controls and how you navigate it. But and as you saw very early in that early School of Fish, connection with the environment, connection with the creatures is all super important as well. And although you wake up lost in this ocean as this diver who doesn't know who she is or where she is, you quickly encounter creatures that move with you and respond to you, and environments that are reactive and lush. And so you very quickly kind of feel almost connected to it at the very beginning. And as we go deeper and deeper through the story, we unlock more and more secrets as to some of that connection and your relationship with the world.
You referred to the diver as a she. Is that is she explicitly a female, or is it more of a interpret the character as your own?
It's
your
a little
own
it's a
persona?
little interpreted as you like, and I think we've just always referred to the diver as more of a she, I guess. But there's nothing particular. There's no specific gender associated. But I think we've always felt more comfortable having I don't know, something about less. You know, when you see something and you just, you know, an inanimate thing. I mean, this is a character in the game who has no name, no history, no persona per se, and yet that sort of felt like the natural thing to associate.
Yeah. So we're seeing some cool stuff. Oh, a meditate button.
Yeah, so this is another important element of the game that we decided to put in. Let me go into this meditation mode. So this is this will be accessible. Like, there are many of these meditation statues throughout the game, and we encourage people to find them and to collect them. We actually have it, I think, off the main menu. You'll be able to go back and revisit these locations. Each one of these locations is in these different rooms where you'll be able to, like, you can explore, you can click around and observe the different life in there. So right now I'm looking at one of these little yellow kelp fish, and over here, what do we have? This is a black sea bass. And over here, I think we'll find, did I find an anchovy? I'm actually looking.
Anchovy?
Yeah, little guy in the middle of the screen. He's the little anchovy.
Yeah.
And look at him, he's got his little mouth open. So every one of the creatures in here is, you know, like I said before, they're based in reality. This room in particular has a lot of inspiring things from the California coast. When Matt and Brian went scuba diving off of Catalina, off the coast, in that very water, you'll see a lot of the redfish, the red and black ones there are sheephead, and the orange ones down here are Garibaldi, and those are well known just off the California coast as being kind of one of the more iconic fish here. But yeah, these are all, like, we're inspired by nature. We didn't feel like we really needed to make a whole lot of stuff up, because the ocean is just so full on its own, with its own magical creatures and really bizarre environments, and yeah, it was a huge palette to choose from. If anything, we wish we could have put a lot more in. If we had a lot more time to work, I think we would have just never ending have added more and more strange things.
It's like a next generation screensaver.
A little bit, yeah. That the meditation mode is intended to be a little bit like, you know, it's a learning. You can learn what all these different fish are and what the different creatures are, but you also can you could just leave it on, and it'll go on its own. It'll switch between fish and kind of let you observe the environments that we've built.
Yeah, I think I'll just let that run on my desk while I'm working.
Totally. We also have creature riding, which we saw a little bit when we first came into this room. Oh, he's hungry. Oh, he just ate that guy. Yep, they get a little hungry. But yeah, we have creatures throughout the game you can ride. There's these groupers. I think a little later today you might be able to see some dolphins that will ride. And then there's even much larger creatures down in the deep and in other parts of the ocean that you get to have very close connections with, that are riding as well as just kind of experiencing things with those large creatures.
Cool.
And connection like that is a core tenet of the game, being able to feel connected to the life and the environment. The way you affect it and the way it affects you back is another big part of the game. There's kind of this metaphorical message throughout about discovery and exploration, not just of the world around you and how it affects you, but also of yourself, and kind of discovering things about yourself. And it kind of becomes this metaphor for a deeper understanding of the self as well. Not without getting too philosophical
Sure.
about the whole thing. I mean, it's still a fun adventure game, and it's beautiful. But if you think about it, it takes on different meanings as you play. You saw there a glimpse of a great white shark.
Yeah, lots of shark imagery in this game.
Yeah, that shark, that was another core tenet too, is that we wanted to have another primary character in the game, and that shark is that character in a lot of ways. He is he's not a controllable creature or anything, but you have a lot of very connected interactions with him, and his story evolves as yours does through the game. Here, I'm going to pick up a little collectible seashell.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there are little collectibles like that throughout the game that we encourage people to try and find as they explore the environments. And there may just be a reward for finding all of them.
Ah, okay.
Not to give anything away, but...
I feel like at any point during this game, you could just press the share button and end up with a desktop wallpaper.
You absolutely can, yeah. We've made sure that all works really well. We encourage screenshots and videos. And here you'll find a different area.
Ooh. That's interesting.
So we're drawn into this area here.
Huh.
I think
That doesn't look natural.
there's something a little strange about it, a little magical.
What's going on?
You'll have to wait to find out. So what we
I'm
have,
freaking out, man.
this is a totally different place that we take you to, and it is a core part of the narrative. What this environment is, what it represents, what's about to happen is all something that is revealed slowly throughout the game as part of the narrative of kind of who you are and the relationship with the environment around you, and what your backstory might be. We take a very non-verbal, non-literal approach to the way we do the storytelling. We kind of lay out the story for you in pieces, and there is a linear narrative through the game, but we try to encourage you to think about, what the different elements represent and how that creates a backstory for the diver. That almost sounds like lazy storytelling, but I promise it's extremely intentional. We do have ideas in mind for exactly the kind of backstory and what everything represents, but we think part of the fun of this kind of game, kind of like with other games, like Journey, for instance, in the past, Matt Nava and Austin Wintory have worked on Journey before working on this game together, and that game was similar. The story isn't laid out for you. It is a linear progression, but it encourages you to kind of find your own story within it and your own meaning.
So in a couple of years, Matt will come out and say, "Here's what it all meant."
Exactly. Well, once the
Anybody who
conspiracies
guessed
get out of
this,
control,
you were right, yeah.
You were correct. So what you saw there is we went into this other space, and something happened where something came from within us out into that spire, the heart coral there, and we came back and life emerged in the room. Huh. And why that happened and what it represents is something that we find out as we go further and further through the game. So we won't reveal too much here, but this is an example of another one of those larger creatures you get to ride.
I love that it shows the creature's name as you encounter it too.
Yeah, we do that, especially in the meditation mode. We do
Yeah.
it, but I think we do it throughout the game now. And so any large creature you ride, there's a little indication of what you're riding and what it is. I think I can even do.
Whoa,
flips.
cool. So you still have control over your direction when you're riding a creature.
Yeah.
You can kind of steer it.
You can kind of steer it. It's larger creatures are a little harder to control, but it's not because we're trying to take anything away from you or because it's hard to do. It's just it's a more independent and large creature compared to you. So it's kind of a little bit of that back and forth. So yeah, we tried to create these real rich, lush environments and give you fluid movement through it, and lay out kind of a mysterious narrative for you to piece together. And you're going to see another piece of that as we go into this area here.
How many different stages or environments are we looking at in the final game?
There are a bunch. I'm trying to think of
I got some weird hieroglyphics or something on the cave
So
paintings.
this is an example. There'll be some of these scattered through the game that kind of help reveal some of the story elements. And not to linger on it too much, we'll let you find more in the future.
Okay.
There's also this, which I won't talk about too much, but this plays into some of the other secrets that you'll find through the game.
Jellyfish just hanging out.
Yeah. I'd say that, there's in the order of, 8, 10 levels, something like that, but each level is fairly, some of the levels are pretty long and long. I mean, this isn't a 20-hour game or anything, but
whoa! Oh my goodness!
Surprise!
That was rude.
Yeah. That shark that we saw earlier isn't necessarily a huge fan of your little drone buddies.
Yeah, I guess he's not a friend.
So another thing that we have throughout are these little areas that you can wake up. And I opened a couple of these in the kelp forest when we first started.
Yeah.
Each one has different creatures in it, and they're all, so a lot of the areas you go into will already be full of rich life, but you'll be able to find a lot of these little secret places that'll release even more into the world. We worked hard to make sure that we could have a very wide variety of creatures in each environment and have huge schools. I think it's been widely quoted. We have, 10,000 fish at a time kind of thing. We do have very huge schools, and I think right now we were probably, this is probably only like maybe 1,000 fish or so.
Only 1,000.
But we do have areas that do have well over 10,000 fish at a time on screen.
Oh my goodness.
All independently reacting with each other and the environment and you, and so that's more of that custom tech we had to build.
This is definitely not natural, by the way.
No, it isn't. So this is a little bit more of that secret. So you've got these little drone buddies. You've got this big mechanical-looking door. You've got this mysterious spirit world you went into. So in this first level, we try to lay out a little bit more, just the little clues that are going to lead you in different directions as you go and piece together the larger story. How they all connect to each other and what they all mean is something that we save. There's some grand reveals through the game that we won't be able to see today. We're only going to see that intro area.
Let's just play the whole game.
Well, do you want to play the whole game? Okay, we'll be here a little while, but not too long.
We'll just skip ahead a couple hours.
Yeah, and then here we are, and that was Abzu.
And here's the ending.
So for anybody who got a chance to play the game at PAX or E3 or any of the other shows we've been able to be at, right there is where we would have ended it. So now we're getting into new territory. Most people haven't had a chance to see any of these areas yet. This is a fish highway.
Oh.
And you can hear, I haven't talked too much about Austin's score yet, but here you get into some of the more playful score that flows under the entire game. Some of the Austin did an amazing job just reading the energy and the vibe throughout the game. He and Steve Green, our sound designer, worked together very, very closely with Matt and the rest of us to create an audio narrative to go with the visual narrative that we're kind of telling as you play through the game. So just like in Journey, we have this evolving score and sound effects that play together with the visuals to create the whole story of Abzu.
So when you were crossing through some of these schools of fish, they light up and they kind of follow you for a little while.
Yeah.
What does that indicate?
I think it's, for the most part, it's just to indicate that you've connected with those fish, and it's a fun flair on the riding through. Oh, I missed that one.
Kind of gives you sort of an objective to kind of go for or not go for.
Right. I mean, it's a beautiful environment to begin with, but having a little something to catch some attention is a little fun.
Look at all those fish. Yeah, you weren't kidding.
Yeah, we don't mess around when it comes to fish count.
Was that hard from a programming standpoint, since you were running programs?
It was. We did have to write custom tech in order to render this many at a time, and we wrote custom tech to simulate all of them. And it's not free, but we wrote a really efficient implementation that let us get to the numbers we do.
Nice.
We think that it's really central to creating that feeling of the vibrancy of life, is just having these huge schools of fish. And I think as soon as we get up here to our next little area, here we are at the Triangle Island.
Ooh. Oh yeah, some dolphins.
Yeah, so let's see if we can hitch a ride on one of these dolphins here. Boost over and grab one. Now, they're fun to ride because they boost really fast. And you
Common dolphin.
yeah, they're just, don't worry, dolphin.
Nothing special about
You're
this
not
dolphin.
a special dolphin.
Oh, that dolphin
Check this
is
out.
unique.
Woo!
Oh, that's so cool.
So we flow around, and the various creatures are really fun to ride, and this is another area we'll pick up another one of these seashells. So if you'd like,
Yeah.
if you'd
I'd
like
love
to play, yeah, I've been driving this whole time, but I'd be happy to let you swim around, check out some of these fish.
So R2 is kind of my accelerator here.
Mm-hmm.
X is my boost.
Yep.
Inverted controls, I see. I guess it makes sense for this kind of game.
Sure, and that is adjustable. Both the camera controls and the diver controls are flippable.
Cool.
And we do have very subtle gestures to indicate gameplay boundaries and stuff. That's another important thing that we tried to do in this game. I mean, it's not an open world game, but we do want you to have a sense of like openness with because we want you to explore. So we don't tell you where to go next. We don't spoon feed you the narrative. We want you to feel like a little sense of wonder and a sense of being a little lost, but somehow managing to find your way the whole time. Finding that careful balance of environmental clues and using the creatures themselves to help guide you to different areas was important to find all that balance.
Man, this feels so good to play. I just want to like swim around in the ocean.
That was a real feeling we wanted to capture, is that scuba diving without scuba diving. We're not a swimming simulator. We're not an ocean simulator even. We have creatures, that coexist here that wouldn't ordinarily be together, but we wanted to capture that feeling of scuba and of being in the water and being in the ocean and connecting with the life. Wow, that was great.
I did that on purpose.
That was
That was
spectacular.
totally intentional.
Man. Sometimes the fish, they'll photobomb you a little bit. They'll you're sitting there and a fish will just swim right in front of you. In this case, you got the opposite, and it was amazing.
There's a great sense of momentum as you're swimming around too. As you kind of go up in the air and then you dive back down, you kind of are rushing through the water here.
Yeah.
I love that the fish kind of just congregate around you, and sometimes they'll swim along with you.
Yeah. If you hold still and chirp at them, they'll come over to you, and the diver will interact with them a little bit. And in different parts of and then
Or I could scare them away. I
you
chirp
can
too loud.
scare them away. And I think if you do little flips, they react to you and they'll come back. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, the fish are very playful throughout the game, especially in these earlier areas where they're so bright and colorful and fun. But the whole game, isn't like this. You go deeper and deeper into the ocean as you discover more mysteries, more secrets about yourself and the world. And so we do get to get down into some really dark and interesting areas, bioluminescent fish and creatures of the deep.
I want to see more. Oh, there we go. That's how you ride.
Yep. Yeah, the left trigger will ride and connect with the creatures, and it seems like you've got the controls down.
Cool.
I didn't even have to tell you. You didn't even get any prompts or anything.
I'm just going to keep playing the game.
Perfect.
I know that we usually do like 20 minutes an episode here, but I'm just going to play for the next couple hours. I hope that's okay.
Totally fine with me. This is the sort of area, we have a number of these little pockets where there's just lots of life and lots of fun things to explore and find. There's even a little cave down there. If you head in there, you'll see some more of the types of creatures we've got. These are little eels.
Oh.
And they do this in real life. They bury themselves down in sand and they retreat back, and they sort of, I think they call these eel gardens. They're eel gardens, and they react to you the same way they might someone else swimming through their home.
Oh, there we go. Found another one of our little drone friends.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think we're just about out of time here. Is there anything else that you wanted to show off before we let you go?
I mean, no, not in particular. I mean, in general, like swimming around the environment.
No more secrets?
No more secrets. Swim next to one of those little clams down there on the ground, or any of the, if you go back, Yeah, we've got lots of little tricks like these too, like those purple guys. If you swim by one of those guys,
Oh, yeah.
you'll see those little feather duster things
Oh.
will flap, and those guys close. They're
shy.
So we have all kinds of environmental things that are really fun to explore and discover. So throughout the game, you'll find different secrets like that, and we reward you for exploring. These areas we've really filled with a lot of interesting stuff. We hope people spend a lot of time exploring them.
Awesome. So this is Abzu.
Yep, August 2nd, it'll be available right there on the front page of the store.
And you guys are part of the PlayStation Store Play promotion this year. What does that mean?
Very excited. It means that it is awesome. We are super excited to be part of that program. It's a great set of games. We're honored to be part of that group, and it's exciting every time it happens, and we're super thrilled to be part of it this year. Really, really excited.
Cool. So yeah, I believe that there's a discount involved if you pre-order the game.
Right. Yes. I think if you're a PlayStation Plus member, I believe there is a discount. I'm forgetting if it's 20% or 10%.
There is a discount.
There is a discount if you're a PlayStation Plus member and you pre-order. And I think pre-orders are available now. I think you can go there, and if you're a Plus member, you can pre-order and get a little discount on the game. And then August 2nd, it'll be ready to play.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us, man.
Man, it's been my pleasure. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool. So that is Abzu. Pre-order it now on PlayStation Store. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
PlayStation